Thank you very much for your kind introduction, Ada Wong. Dear Ada Wong, the founder of Make Difference, and Jeff Morgan, the chief executive of Nesta, and Louise Fulford from SIX, and participants from Young Foundation from UK, and many other social innovation leaders from many other countries. It's my great pleasure and honor to be in front of you and to have the opportunities to speak about social innovation and the future and potential of Asia. I stand before you full of emotions, and I'm so happy to see you, my dear friends, again as the Mayor of Seoul, because I used to meet you in many international conferences as a civic activist and a social designer, but now I became imprisoned to be a mayor. So always someone is following me, the secretary or some guide. So in one day I was succeeding in separating them. So I climbed the mountains with a hat tip, so no one noticed me. But after that, I took the taxi asking to take me to my home. But the taxi driver looked back at me and then, "You, Mayor, disguised," something like that. So I failed at last, So the position, was changed. But still, I think my vision is the same, because I was always thinking that how to elevate, enhance our society. So even though the position and perspective may be different, but the final goal is the same, even though I became the mayor. As you know, Seoul is the home of to more than 10 million people. So there are big challenges to face and to meet. But, I think the other big cities around the world is the same. There are too much uncertainties and dissatisfaction of the citizens, and there is too much debate or conflict to be solved. Especially, there are serious economic bipolarization, from the gap of poor and rich, and also job risk growth and youth unemployment have become grave issues in Seoul and probably in other cities. And also excess energy consumption has led to increasing concerns about energy depletion, and climate change is triggering the natural disasters. So the Seoul is targeting to reduce amount of one nuclear energy use within 2014. It's my pledge. And so the civil society is also cooperating each other to gain this goal, to attain these goals. And also capitalistic measures are very much limited in solving these issues, of public housing and education, healthcare and crimes. So this afternoon I had visited the Hong Kong Housing Authority, and on-site visit to public housing apartments. So we could learn many things from your experiences in Hong Kong. So I know a very famous Lebanese proverb, heaven isn't worth going if there aren't any people there. So we have the same proverb in Korea. First comes people, and then comes money, something like that. But, according to our experience, since 1960s and 70s, we are too much focusing on economic growth, instead dismissing, the quality of life, social welfare, and the value of human beings. So I think it's high time, for the Seoul metropolitan government and as mayor to change, to have the paradigm shift. So we were always emphasizing the growth of GDP or GNP, but instead the quality of life in Seoul is worsening. The rate of killing themselves, committing suicide is highly increasing. Probably, the first in the world. So in that sense, I should emphasize the importance of humanism, So I declared I want to be a mayor of social welfare. But, in a world full of uncertainties, this is an indicator of the direction we should take in moving forward. We need to work together for a hopeful future. So I intend to find the right solutions through social innovation. After becoming mayor of Seoul, I set up the Social Innovation Bureau under the Seoul Metropolitan Government. So Mr. Cho is leading, the bureau, and so we have currently created a team of True Ilgun, which is literally means all-round workers to deal with projects and challenges that do not fall under one department. Bureaucracy has set up so many walls within the bureaucratic systems, but we would like to go beyond that, cooperating each other through the True Ilgun teamwork. And also, making sure that problems can be prevented beforehand, rather than dealing with the problems after they occur. This kind of preventative administration was greatly needed, especially in Seoul. Also pursuing collaboration with different sectors rather than the government trying to do everything alone, and pursuing policies through listening to the people on site rather than through ineffective bureaucratic approaches. This kind of collaborative on-site measures were greatly needed. As Ms. Ada explained, I am taking advantage of most modern technologies like Twitter and Facebook. So even in Hong Kong, I sent a few messages through Twitter. So the message also being dealt by the newspapers in opposite direction, So every Korean citizens knows that I'm in Hong Kong and doing very valuable things, without any, coverage of mass media. Of course, a few reporters are following me. So I would like to share some cases where we are striving to pursue this social innovation based on my philosophy. First, Seoul is becoming a sharing city. Cities should be platforms for sharing. All urban infrastructure, roads, public transportation, markets, parks, schools, and libraries were built to be shared originally. But you may have heard of the Africans saying, Ubuntu, which means I'm what I am because of who we are. We all are. So I believe this is true. We are who we are because of who we all are together. And our worth becomes greater through sharing. So we are opening unused spaces of government property to the public. And we are disclosing all administrative informations in our database and sharing it with the citizens. So we established the site of, data.seoul.go.kr. So recently we opened a massive amount of database to general public. Also, we are providing support to sharing business models in the private sector, such as car sharing and office sharing, labor exchange, and bed and breakfast, and so on. And secondly, I'd like to note, restoring sense of community and people-oriented values. We have very strong community bondage when, in 17th or 18th century. But with the, division of this country and Korean War, or dictatorship and serious poverty and rapid modernization made us, to lose all that valuable, philosophy. Seoul government has allocated a budget of 72.5 billion Korean won, so approximately 407.8 million Hong Kong dollars to support community child care services and community gardening services, urban farming, neighborhood apartment communities, and neighborhood art centers, and more. So our aim is to restore sense of community and people-oriented values in Seoul. Third focus is promoting social economy, sharing economy. So I think, the capitalistic economy has failed to meet the demand of the ordinary citizens, especially the underrepresented class of people. So Seoul has allocated a budget of, 348 billion Hong Kong dollars to create an economic ecosystem for a social sharing economy. Especially, we are trying to establish the social venture fund. It's around 19.8 billion Hong Kong dollars to increase the youngsters to begin their own social experiments or social entrepreneurs. For these social innovations to be successful, there are 5 areas that we should focus on. The first is we need to design policies based on the actual opinions of citizens that we have listened to on-site. On-site-based policy design ensures policy effectiveness and citizens' satisfaction. You probably understand my ear is very big. Yeah. And also, we are moving into a newly opening buildings for City Hall. And I would like to, I asked our staff to, make a big ear on top of the buildings, so it's symbolizing we are ready to listen to every voices of the citizens. And second is the, the cooperation among the sectors. So collaboration among sectors is key to addressing the complicated issues in our society and is helpful in meeting the ever-changing administrative demands. And third, starting this year, the citizens of Seoul can participate in the decision-making process of the budget of Seoul Metropolitan Government, which amounts to 21 trillion Korean won. So approximately 138.7 billion Hong Kong dollars. So the citizens can choose, can decide on which subject, field the budget is allocated. Fourth, collaborative innovation through information technology. So the collaborative intelligence and collaborative consumption happens through social network services and social media. This is a good way to promote more citizens' participation and cooperation in urban administration. The level and quality of citizen participation and cooperation will get higher. And five, strong international network. In the future, more and more challenges will need to be tackled together through people-to-people, region-to-region exchanges. Seoul is striving to strengthen sustainable partnership with international social innovation institutions and organizations. In this sense, the SIX Asia launch is very much important to everybody in Asia. So I believe that SIX Asia will play a key role in addressing so many common challenges and creating a better, greater Asia by helping social innovation organizations in Asia come together and form sustainable partnerships and actively exchange information and knowledge and wisdom. Seoul promises to give unwavering support. I greatly look forward to seeing SIX be held in Seoul in 2013. Is it all right? In that case, please give me a big applause. So, is it decided? Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, so I kindly ask everybody here, to participate the SIX Asia in 2013 in Seoul, and so see you in Seoul in 2013. Thank you very much.